Well, this has been a something. So my prior setup decided to explode and I had to cobble together a new one real quick, but it'll do, I guess. Anyhow, the first sets are from the Dilo streams a while back. There were a few Locomotion ones, and since it was just walking, or I didn't catch it soon enough, which was the case, I'm pretty sure, for the injured ones, sometimes my alerts don't work. And in that case, I'll be looking at my phone in between, waking up, and I'll be like, oh, there's nothing there, so I go back to sleep. It was the case a few times, including with the Herrera one, where there was something there, I wasn't alerted to it, and, well, there you go. So I have the tail end of quite a few things. The Dilo ones were mostly highlights anyway, because there wasn't a lot going on, or I caught it too late. It depends on the stream, what was going on, etc. Overall thoughts on the Dilo one, though, one of the ways it holds its arm in the injured one is a little funky. Like, one of the other ones looks alright, if I recall, but one of the others, the way its arm is bent, just doesn't seem to fit with how the model looks or moves. But overall, it does what it needs to, I suppose. Again, the head moving as much as it does, just... It's a constant problem, and I've talked about it before, and I'm going to talk about it again because Herrera does the exact same thing, arguably much worse. The head movement, brother. Please. Just... I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter lately, and you can tell they actually pay attention to how things do or do not move their heads when walking, especially predators. And you'll see things of a different, or a similar body type to Dilo. And you'll see that its head doesn't move constantly as it's walking around stalking prey, whatever else. It blows my mind. I constantly have to come back to this and be like, oh yeah, it's getting its brain rattled around in its skull right now. Also, it can't see where the heck its prey is because its head's moving around so much. But anyway, I try not to go on about it too much, but that is one of the biggest pet peeves I have with these animation sets, and it just keeps coming back again and again and again. Like I've said before, you can go watch an ostrich run, and even it keeps its head incredibly still. But, Oh well, anyway, aside from that, the Herrera, I caught the tail end of it again, because, as I mentioned earlier, the alert thing didn't work out. And it turned out there was indeed a stream going on, and I missed most of it. By the time I got there, he was just finalizing things with the arms and hands, and that was about it. But aside from that, you can still see the finished product at the end, or at least what I assume is the finished product. And, well, the way it bounces... The way, again, the head movement, but I've already talked about that. But the way the overall, look of how it walks is... my brain was immediately like, so, Sergeant Twinkletoes, are you walking on hot coals or something? Like, the way he lifts and bounces as he moves, it looks as if he's purposely trying to, tippy-toe through something. And we had this problem with a Trudon animation way back, but I think they fixed it. However, that one, it was more exaggerated, where people rightfully pointed out it looks like a Looney Tunes scene where there's a character slowly trying to sneak somewhere. This case looks like that, but sped up and a little less exaggerated. But the way it bounces and lifts itself, it doesn't look right. As I said, it looks like he's kind of tiptoeing through somewhere. I thought it was one of his joke animations at first when I was looking through it, but the stream ended on that, so I assume it's not. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I've been had. Maybe this is indeed an April Fool's joke, just months late. However, that's... oh, boy. Anyway, I didn't see a whole lot of this stream. I can't comment on it much, but it was a Locomotion one. I do like how the dewlap moves as it walks around, because, as the body's moving around, that's gonna swivel a little bit. It shouldn't be doing it as much, because the head shouldn't be moving that much. But it is what it is. I do like at least there's some motion there instead of it just being stiff. The tail seems to jiggle a little bit too much. And again, there's the whole... He looks like he's tiptoeing or something. Like, the way he's bouncing around, it doesn't fit quite right. But maybe it'll be changed. Maybe this is an early version of it. I don't know. This is just what I saw because I caught the tail end. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, that's it for that. We're going back to the stream thing. The prior background and everything I had was supposed to be temporary anyway. But unfortunately I haven't had the time to make something. So I'm gonna have to go crawling back to my friend and ask for some help on that regards, and it's gonna take a bit. She's incredibly busy, she has a surgery coming up, there's all sorts of stuff going on. It's just a mess, life's a mess. But it is what it is. I'll use this in the meantime. It's supposed to be temporary. We'll see how temporary it is, seeing as the other one was supposed to be temporary, and it's been, what, a year? But you know how it is. Things get in the way. Life happens. I might have to go to someone else. There's just a lot going on with everyone, honestly. And I've got something coming up near the end of the year, so I'm hoping I'll have some... Well, I have plenty of game recordings, but hopefully I'll have some of the Isle to play during that period when I'll be gone. But we'll see. Whenever the update comes out, I'll hopefully be able to play it for a little while, and I'll post stuff when I can of that. Depending on how entertaining it actually is, I'll try to do the usual filler stuff around Sundays that I used to do and then stop doing because I haven't been happy with the... Like, I still have plenty of the Monster Hunter Stories ones, but I wasn't happy with them. And I'm still not, but I might just have to use them anyway. That'll probably be the case. It really shows, you know, I didn't have the mic properly muffling out outside sounds. So whenever I was using the keyboard, you could hear it. Later on it gets fixed, but it takes so long to get to that point, and it just, you know. It's quality things, it doesn't matter in the end, not many people will pay attention to those ones, but it bothers me because I try to make them, you know, halfway decent. And, it's just, yeah, it is what it is. I'll see what I can do. When the Isle stuff comes around, I'm hoping it'll be entertaining enough that I'll be playing that instead, and I'll be able to stock up some footage and have some play around quiet time, because there's plenty of those. And especially during Christmas, they go, you know, on vacation for at least 2 weeks. And then I'll be gone later in the year. I'll talk about that more later. But we'll see how it goes. But for now, this stream set, it was a hot mess and a half, but it just... It is what it is, I suppose. Hopefully I'll be able to catch the other ones at least mostly in full, and hopefully they won't just be Locomotion as well, because, well, we've seen a lot of just walking ones, and it's, frankly, it's a little bit dull. I mean, it's roughly the same thing. Herrera is very different, of course, and I would have definitely shown more had I had it, but my alert didn't work, and etc, etc. You know the rest by now. I went on about it. I'll try to get things sorted with the layout and everything, but oh my goodness. So, I guess I should quickly go over the purpose of it. The purpose of the layout is basically so YouTube's content ID doesn't throw a hissy fit. I have to transform these enough that they can't be claimed, be it by someone else using the same footage, because people have threatened to do that before. Or, you know, by the devs themselves because maybe they don't want them posted, etc, etc. You guys have seen by now some of their opinions on, you know, the stream uploading stuff. So you have to transform it, which is what I've done. It's definitely nothing like what it once was. But the layout helps protect my channel from someone going, oh, I've also recorded this same footage, and I managed to, you know, upload it before yours. But because it popped up in this handy-dandy little copyright section of my YouTube, I can try to strike your video down, because YouTube's thing says, oh, you have like 90% of my video, so I'll just, you know, yeet. It protects it from that, so I don't get caught up in any of that shenanigans. There was one time way back where I used someone else's footage because I didn't have mine at the time, and I didn't know who had originally, recorded it, because there were 2 other channels that had already used the same footage, and I was like, oh great, I don't know who to credit for this, so I didn't credit anyone because I'd rather do that than credit the wrong person, because that's just, you know, it's kind of dumb. But the original person came into my comments and was like, hey guy, you gotta link me because I was the one who recorded it, or I'm gonna strike your video down. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know you were the original person who did it, because 2 other people also uploaded it that same day, and YouTube doesn't have the exact time it was uploaded, it's just the day. So I was like, okay. Well, I'm going to assume you're the right one, and I'm going to assume this isn't someone just, you know, joking around. And so that's what I did. I think that one's privated by now anyway. Because I privated all the old streams after getting Nastygram from the devs, which is why I had to change all of this. But anyhow, yep, that's the purpose of it. Basically, to protect me, my channel, all that fun stuff. Because YouTube's system sucks. In fact, just recently, so there was a company of some sort, a music company, I guess, that tried to claim some of the songs from the Left 4 Dead soundtrack. It wasn't Valve, it wasn't anyone associated with Valve. And this has happened in the past. So those videos were then said they were no longer monetizable. Thankfully they were old, so it didn't matter anyway. I just muted those sections, so if you just happen to see something back there that says, oh yeah, this happened, that's why this section's muted, that's why. But anyway, YouTube just lets some random Joe Schmo claim that section of someone else's music and can just immediately yeet that video from monetizable existence. It's an actual nightmare. And the AI, the way it works for the visual stuff is roughly the same, so that's why it's a hot mess and a half when you look at this. The less it looks like the original product, the safer I end up being. So it's just... I try to make it as least intrusive as possible, but I also have to make sure that it's not a copy pasta of what everyone else's are going to be, especially because I tend to upload after everyone else. Yeah, it's to save myself a headache. But I've gone over that before, I suppose, at least in a little bit. And anyone familiar with YouTube is gonna know. That's why when you see, like, movie reviews and stuff like that, they'll either replay a small amount of the same footage, or they'll heavily chop it up and size it down. Stuff like that. I've seen people reverse the image as well, which I try not to do because these are, you know, game animations that I want to show them as close to the original as possible without altering it too much. But people have done that to try to get around it. It's little tricks and tidbits and stuff people will try to do to get around the AI version of it. You can still end up with manual stuff, but the less your video looks like the other one, the better. Because then YouTube's thing is going to look at it and go, yeah, this looks nothing alike, so this is bogus. Even if it is someone else's thing, and it could be copy-pasted, basically, and just shrunk down, YouTube will see it and be like, no, this is different, it's fine. Even if it might or might not be fine. But, anyhow, that's enough of that. I've gone on enough. My voice is dying, I'm dying. It's been a day and a half, but you guys can probably tell that from my tone. Anyhow, I hope you guys have been doing better, and that the hype for the update has been pleasant this time around. I don't know whether or not it's actually going to be soon or not. Like, I'd like to think it would be. It looks very, very complete from what little I've been seeing in comments about it, but I don't know. So before you ask, hey, when do you think the next update's gonna be? Unfortunately, my answer is, I don't know. Not a clue. It could be a few weeks, it could be a few days, it could be a few months. It's hard to say with them. But we hope it's soon. And I know you guys have been super hyped about it, so I especially hope for you guys it's gonna be, you know, relatively soon. But I'm done. No more. Have a great day, night, whenever you see this. And goodbye.
Thank you.